because Alvin's radio also, we'll put him on your team. So it's going to be Carl, Jerry, Barbara, and Alvin. You guys are going to do Angelfish Court. Now what will happen is, everybody
right across the street
up.
from you. That's where I live.
Now that we got the teams all assigned, you guys will go to your designated area. Once you get there, you call back into here on the radio to let us know you've arrived, you've started doing your work. Once you get done in your area, if you get done, depending on how much damage and how many hurt people there are, you will come back to here, and then we will assign a different area to you. You'll still be the same team, but you'll just go to a different area. And then that's the way the days most likely will progress, because it'll be a multiple day event if we get with a hurricane or maybe even a tornado. Yes?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Ron.
Speak louder.
How would I call, what would I have to say to call into here? Just a call sign, or do I call?
When you get to your area,
Yes, sir.
you would say this is whatever your call sign is, Pascal Posa, team 1, 2, whatever.
Yes, sir.
We define our location, we're beginning our search.
No, I know. I was put on this team, the medical facility off of 486.
What's
I don't know which medical facility.
All you would do would be say Northeast Quadrant.
Medical facility is near the Knights of Columbus.
The main thing is just remember Northeast Quadrant. You can just
All
say
that
Northeast
nursing
headquarters.
facility. whatever.
Yes, right there.
I know what it
Something to let us know you're calling into here.
We're not physically even going
We're not
over.
Ron,
We're just going through what we would do. We would pick a team leader. All right, we would pick a team leader. And then
Whoever's managing the radio here will call on the repeater frequency. That way we don't tie it to repeater.
We're not going to have our own frequency then. We are going to have our own frequency.
Yes, ours
so we
is
should.
146.580, number 13 on your radio.
Okay. All right.
Everybody listen up. Now again on the radio, once you get to your location, whoever your radio person is will call in and they will say, this is K4RLK Ron, Team 2, the net controller, Northeast Quadrant net control, Northeast Quadrant headquarters, anything just to let us know you're calling here. And again, you're going to be on 146.580. Thank you. That is our frequency that we use for this quadrant. If during your search you find you need medical transport, if there's a fire you need to report, you call back into us on 146.580. We will in turn call on the repeater frequency to let EOC know what we need. That way we're not tying up that repeater just for normal chit-chat. We will always use simplex for Northeast Quadrant to Northeast Quadrant, and then from here we will use the repeater back to the EOC, or if the repeater tower is blown down or whatever, they will have a different simplex frequency so that we won't be tying them up.
One observation at the Hernando training class that I went to, communications was a problem.
Hey,
communications was a problem at the Hernando County training thing that I went to. And like the person in charge of communications, they didn't have a list or a board identifying the three or four teams and who the person was and what their call sign was. So there was an awful lot of confusion there. That's something that we may want to consider doing, so that Kim knows immediately who Team 1 is, where they are, or who the main person is to contact and what their call numbers are. That led to a lot of confusion before.
well, as you see, we'll write a list of each team, and whoever's doing the scribe work here, which is most likely Kim, she will know. When you call in, you don't really even need to worry about call sign. You just say, this is Team 1, and we know who Team 1 is.
Yeah.
We'll know every person on that team. We will have your card, because before you go out in the field, you have 2 of these. Okay? We will be retaining 1 of them, and we will keep it here until you come in and you quit and you go home. Then we will give it back to you. If at the end of the day we've got a card, we're going to be looking for somebody.
Good.
I mean, and when we will call everybody to help us look, just to make sure nobody's out somewhere hurt. Yes, sir. Don't be. What?
No ID.
no idea.
Well, no, we're working on that. I mean, you know, if we found out today, or you knew already, but we just found out today the lady had passed away who was in charge of that. Dan has actually volunteered to do that. He's working with Bob because he lives close enough. He could come over here pretty much any time. But he's not done it yet, so you have to wait. All right. Yes.
About communication. What if your HT isn't making the trip over here? What's your backup plan?
We have, and I'll show. We're going to set it up here in a minute. I have a 2-meter antenna that can be put in the air in about 10 minutes. So if we end up with a communications problem in an area, we can take this, put it up, either hook it to your HT, or if there's a mobile unit there, we can hook it to the mobile unit, and it'll be 25 feet in the air, and it should reach anywhere in the county, let alone just our quadrant.
Because I know when I was talking to Odie this morning, he went switch his HT, and I lost him. I was on my base.
Mm-hmm. That's one problem that we may have. We've got a pretty good sized quadrant. Odie, myself, and 2 other people about 1.5 years ago did a ham radio test. We put people at all 4 corners of our quadrant. Odie was here. We tried HTs. We tried HTs with outside antennas, and then we tried mobile radios. We were unable to reach this location from the 4 corners, and the closest one being 491 and 44, the Circle K. That's only about 1.5 miles, 2 miles away, but the terrain blocks the signal. With HTs and an outside antenna, we had mediocre success. With mobile radios, we were able to talk from all 4 areas. So one thing, we're going to have to make sure that we have maybe a portable antenna system available for each team that goes out, or at least each area. What are you guys doing?
Nothing.
Flashlight.